Honda?
This is Blu Bear.
Blu Bear, okay.
You guys are wanting more buildings, but I don't hear you guys speaking about less crime. How do you lessen crime? You guys are talking about billions of dollars, but I don't hear you talking about the humanity crisis that we are in. You guys talk about criminals and we need a place to put them all, but I don't hear you ever refer to them as human beings. You talk about not feeling safe in your neighborhoods while you are on stolen land. Talk about not feeling safe and that you want to feel safe. I'm an indigenous woman on this land and I don't feel safe. And I don't feel safe because of the boys and badges. I don't feel safe because of our state and our federal government. I don't feel safe because your system doesn't know truth and it doesn't know humanity and it doesn't listen and it sits up on its high horse and it dictates and tries to problem solve for a people that it's not even willing to walk with, breathe with, eat with, talk with. I was told the other night that y'all were looking for a miracle, yet you cut everybody down in 3 minutes. Miracles don't happen in 3 minutes. You want a solution, but you cut some very bright people off because their 10 minutes was up. Solutions don't happen in 10 minutes. Your system is broken, and the only thing it has proven to do is not work. Your system doesn't work if we have people that are committing crimes at a high level. It doesn't work. And it doesn't work because you do not know honesty. You do not know humility. You do not know connection to the land. You do not know connection to one another. We talk about mental health. We talk about crime. We talk about money. The answer is humanity. The answer is equality. The answer is humility. The answer is equity. But you don't want to hear that because your colonial thinking tells you that it's all about you. I'm an indigenous woman in America, and I'm looking every single day for our missing and our murdered. And they are missing and murdered by your corporations in my home. I cry every morning and every night. And I pray that our children are returned to us. Our children are buried behind your churches. Talk about wanting to make a community safe, then investigate the church. But you're not going to do that. You don't want to do that. They have the highest crime rates.
Okay.
But you don't want to see that. Your failure to listen to the people, talk to the people, and walk with the people is why your system is failing. You want to act like those guys behind bars are the enemy? No. Your system is the enemy.
Okay. Thank you, Ken.
Advisors, thank you guys for the work that you guys do and the decisions that you guys have to make after all this is done and said. My name is Alfred Melbourne, and I have almost 2 decades of lived experience behind the walls of incarceration. And to be perfectly honest with you guys here, it's not something that I would wish upon my worst enemy if I had one. So there's been a lot of amazing speakers here tonight to get your attention to focus on the human element, to stop increasing the profit and increase the people power and get behind the people who are here speaking and supporting a lot of great organizations and different causes. But one of the main things that I'm hearing is prevention. Prevention. Getting in front of this issue so that we don't have to be standing here talking about why we need to expand the jail. We know that there has been a divestment in certain communities for such a long time and redlining certain areas, keeping us out of areas. I am a Hunkpapa Lakota, and I regret to not have mentioned the First Nations people of this land, the Miwok, Nisenan, Maidu people. and the individuals who spoke up and spoke of this current system of law that we're under that is unjust to our people. And we are a dying race who has to be heard in these spaces. So recognizing them, of course, and also as important, if not more, is the youth that you guys see within this building. These are our future leaders, and they're here for a reason. They're taking notice, and they're watching and paying attention to everything that's happening, and they have more at stake in all of this than all of us do. There is an emergency going on right now. It's a climate emergency, a climate crisis, right? There's a pandemic right now. There's so much going on for all these young folks to have to deal with and go through. And still we have folks here coming to use their voice to talk to you, to reason with you all, to tell you not to invest, not to build. It's an unfair fight for someone like myself, having spent over 18 years of incarceration. I don't have resources, I don't have tools, but I've done very well for myself. I will say just a little bit for being successful. We have an organization in West Sacramento called Three Sisters Gardens. Native Indigenous-led 501c3 supporting the potential high promise youth through food justice, right? Teaching them how to grow food and get back to the land. That's what we need to be doing, investing into the future of our children, our youth, before they run into these problems and have to get into the juvenile system, the jail. I went through all of that, and again, it's not something that I would wish upon anyone. So I implore you guys to consider what everyone here is saying. We are up against a machine that has so much money and resources that we can't even compete. We're asking you guys to appeal to your human side and see that we do not need this. We need to invest in the future of our children, put all that $1.5 billion there, and I bet you guys see a difference. No on expanding the jail.
Back up. Thank you, sir.
All right. I'm had time to lose it again. So I am obliged to you for your kind indulgence, but I'm afraid I can't return the favor. We're grown-ups here. We should be grown-ups here, yes? We know where crime and violent crime comes from, but we don't talk about it. It is born of a maliciously generated poverty in a community characterized by cruel iniquity. The proposed jail expansion is inflicted as a containment for the anticipated acceleration of mental illness and addiction resulting from the continuing malicious failure of our municipality and county's policy and administration of housing. In Sacramento, policy of housing, like most else, is controlled by our dominant scale real estate, property development, investment, and corporate rental interests. If we are honest about bloody hands, theirs are the bloodiest. If you have any role to protect the interests of the more general population, for these interests, you must fail. You have been selected and cultivated by the controlling interests as failures. Examples for them of how government must fail. And that puts blood on your willingly bloody, failing hands. When the DA, elect, police uphold this order of things, they have very bloody hands indeed. Who holds them to accountability? Who holds these interests I mentioned to accountability? The ever closer alliance of the dominant property interests and the sheriff and police is an alliance of sociopaths to more tightly control our local government. The sheriff's department has brought for you to advocate for jail expansion a collection of individuals so selfish, greedy, unself-aware, and willfully stupid in their sequestered, privileged Sunset Magazine property value obsessed lives to be perfectly blind to the harm they do now, this day, and tonight. They talk about rising street crime that is imaginary. Property crime is a pale shadow of the monetary cost of wage theft by employers. But have we ever seen a cop or sheriff arrest one single employer for wage theft? An employer treats employees as an astute business person. A worker can't pay rent and they are deemed failure. Why might they fall into mental illness or addiction? Why might you want to put them in an expanded jail facility? We hear disgust over the squalor of the increasing numbers of homeless encampments. But what is generating homelessness? Isn't the real squalor in the hearts and minds of our dominant property interests? They want to hide that squalor with jail expansion. To call our county sheriff an example of the banality of evil is to be indulgently generous. I want to thank my young colleagues here for the service they have provided in clarifying these issues tonight. Though we all know that Councilpersons Frost and Desmond will refuse these services and be service resistant, I hope the majority will not.
Thank you, Les. Okay.